African Union Communications, Early Warning, and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command and combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation as of December 19, 2025, in response to the terrorist attacks of Ukraine on civilian objects on the territory of Russia, the armed forces of the Russian Federation from December 13th to 19th carried out massive and six-group strikes with high-precision weapons, including aerial ballistic hypersonic missiles, Dagger, as a result of which Ukrainian military industry enterprises, energy complex facilities that ensured their operation, transport and port infrastructure used in the interests of the armed forces of Ukraine, assembly and testing centers of unmanned boats of the main Directorate of Special Operations, assembly shops and storage places of long-range unmanned aerial vehicles were hit. During the week, units of the North Group of Forces inflicted a defeat on the live forces and equipment of 2 mechanized, 2 motorized, 1 Jaeger brigades, an assault regiment of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, 2 Jaeger brigades, and 2 National Guard brigades. In total, in the area of responsibility of the North Group of Forces, the enemy lost over 1,425 servicemen, 6 combat armored vehicles, 74 vehicles, 5 field artillery guns, a reactive multiple launch rocket system, GRAD, 7 electronic warfare stations, 11 ammunition and material depots. On the Kharkiv direction, a defeat was inflicted on the formations of 2 heavy mechanized, 4 mechanized, 1 Jaeger brigades, an assault regiment of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a Jaeger brigade, and 2 National Guard brigades. In total, in the area of responsibility of the West Group of Forces, the enemy lost over 1,515 servicemen, 1 tank, 21 combat armored vehicles, of which 9 are of Western production, 106 vehicles, a reactive multiple launch rocket system, Heron, made in Croatia, and 17 field artillery guns, 4 electronic warfare stations and 29 ammunition and material depots were destroyed. Units of the South Group of Forces took more advantageous positions, inflicted a defeat on the live forces and equipment of 4 mechanized, 2 motorized, 1 airborne, 2 mountain assault brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a Marine Infantry Brigade, a Jaeger Brigade, and 2 National Guard brigades. In total, in the area of responsibility of the South Group of Forces, the losses of Ukrainian armed formations amounted to over 3,505 servicemen, 3 tanks, 25 combat armored vehicles, 39 vehicles, a reactive multiple launch rocket system, GRAD, and 20 field artillery guns. During the week, units of the Center Group of Forces improved their position on the forward edge, continued the destruction of the encircled group of the Armed Forces of Ukraine in the city of Dmitrovka of the Donetsk People's Republic, and the clearing of scattered formations of the enemy in the areas of the settlements of Rodinsko, Svetlo, and Grishino of the Donetsk People's Republic. A defeat was inflicted on the formations of 3 mechanized, 2 infantry, 2 Jaeger, airborne, 2 air assault brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, 2 Marine Infantry Brigades, a Jaeger Brigade, 4 National Guard brigades, and a Special Operations Brigade, Azov. In this direction, the enemy lost over 1,310 servicemen, 3 tanks, 16 combat armored vehicles, of which 5 are of NATO production, 91 vehicles, and 17 field artillery guns, 4 electronic warfare stations, and 29 ammunition and material depots were destroyed. Units of the East Group of Forces continued to advance into the depth of the enemy's defense and, as a result of decisive actions, liberated the settlements of Peshanoye, Gerasimovka in the Dnipropetrovsk region, and Varvarovka in the Zaporizhia region. A defeat was inflicted on the manpower and equipment of 2 mechanized, 2 assault brigades, 3 assault regiments of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a Marine Brigade, and a Territorial Defense Brigade. Over the week, in the area of responsibility of the East Group of Forces, the Armed Forces of Ukraine lost over 1,795 servicemen, 4 tanks, 20 armored combat vehicles, 64 vehicles, 7 field artillery guns, 3 electronic warfare stations, and 9 ammunition and material depots. Units of the Dnieper Group of Forces inflicted a defeat on the formations of 2 mechanized, 1 mountain assault brigade, a coastal defense brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a territorial defense brigade, and a National Guard brigade. Up to 370 servicemen of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, 2 armored combat vehicles, 93 vehicles, 19 field artillery guns, including 2 155mm M777 howitzers produced in the USA, 7 electronic warfare stations, and 18 ammunition and material depots were destroyed. Air defense units shot down 9 guided aerial bombs, 1 Grom-2 operational tactical missile, 20 US-made HIMARS MLRS projectiles, 2 Neptune long-range guided missiles, and 1,689 fixed-wing unmanned aerial vehicles. In total, since the beginning of the special military operation, the enemy has lost 669 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 103,867 unmanned aerial vehicles, 640 anti-aircraft missile systems, 26,606 tanks and other armored fighting vehicles, 1,633 MLRS combat vehicles, 32,021 field artillery guns and mortars, 49,147 support military vehicles. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.